What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video in the next episode of the MotoGP 25 career mode for part number 9 today at the Italian Grand Prix in the Tuscan hills of Mugello. The absolutely magnificent Mugello for the 9th round of the Moto3 Championship. If you missed any of the previous episodes, I recommend you go back and check them out. Down in the description you will find a link to the last episode and also the Moto3 World Championship playlist where you can go back and check out the story so far, because it has been a story of two halves up to now. We've had a couple of podium finishes, but the podium has eluded us for the last couple of rounds. The 21st place finish for us in Le Mans, and last time out in Aragon, backing up the Silverstone 8th place with a 6th place in Aragon. So we've got a little bit of work to do if we want to get back on the Moto3 World Championship podium, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can start that challenge here at Mugello, one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. It just has everything, doesn't it, Mugello? It has this long straight into San Donato. It then has the up and down undulation and the chicanes of Casanova and Savelli, has the Arrabbiata section, the Buccini, the Biondetti chicane, everything like that. It is a track that just sits high on, I think, lots of people's MotoGP all-time favourite circuits, along with Jerez, Misano, Assen, places like that. But anyway, that is beside the point. We've got to focus now on the actual track and doing the business here in the Moto3 Championship, because we do have a bit of a point to prove, and we do need to get back into the swing of things and get back on that podium roll. We haven't yet finished any higher than 3rd position in this season, and that's 9 rounds in, and we are yet to take anything better than a 3rd place. So we're going to be hopefully launching a podium attack once more here in Moto3. But we've got a long way to go before then. We've got to get through practice and the qualifying sessions, and we have the first job, which hasn't been a problem throughout this season so far, but you never know when you arrive at a new track and what the AI are going to be like for the first time arriving at a circuit that season, as we've got a huge crash going on somewhere around the track with Noah Detweiler involved. I think David Almanza was involved as well, and Detweiler is actually going to be given a long lap penalty for an incident. I don't know where on the track that was or what happened, but 3 riders going down, and Detweiler obviously being the cause of that one. So unfortunately for Noah, he's been given a long lap penalty, and we're only a couple of minutes into the weekend, so unfortunate for him. But anyway, back on with us. We're now racing one of the Honda Team Asia bikes. I think it's Ricky Rossi, the man who obviously started the season on this bike before we joined the Cyclist team ahead of round number 1. He's in very deep there, is Rossi. It might actually be Bouasri looking at the helmet. I think it might be Bouasri. Rossi is in this fight. He is, I think, behind him. So I think the two Team Asia bikes working together as we head towards the final corner of Buccini for what is our 2nd lap of the session. A 1.1 second advantage compared to our previous best lap of a 156.887, which sits us currently in P7, inside the top 14. But obviously riders haven't yet set their laps in this session. Across the line we go P4, and we do indeed tow Ricky Rossi and Bouasri up into 4th and 5th. But as we skip onto the end of the session, lap times coming in now from Piqueras, from Rueda, etc, etc, and we have got work to do because we are down in P12, 67 thousandths ahead of the rider behind, and I'm sure that he is not going to be far ahead of the man in 14th place either. So at the minute, our space in Q2 feeling a little bit under threat as we head in towards Corintaio for the final time in practice, and at the minute we've got nothing going for us. We're over a 10.5 down on our fastest lap as we head through the Biondetti chicane for the final time, using all the road as possible. And again, we didn't mount the curbs as aggressive. We lost a little bit of time in the middle, but we do make up time in towards the final corner. We're not going to be close enough to this Aspar bike, I think that is ahead, for a bit of a slipstream, but we are going to get tucked in as much as possible, get on the power as hard as we can, and pray that we find a little bit of time. The time is coming down, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be no improvement on our final lap of the session, but we do scrape through in 12th position, 6/10 of a second down on Angel Piqueras' top time. Foggia and Lunetta on the Aspar CF Motobike 2nd and 3rd, Max Quiles 4th, Rueda 5th, but thankfully nobody improved behind, and we do make it through to Q2 for the Italian Grand Prix. It would have been a bit of an uphill battle if we had to go through Q1, but thankfully no such dramas, and the riders who made it through Q1, Adrian Fernandez, who once again found himself in that bottom 14 at the end of practice, Pini, Buchanan and Moodley, I think that was, from memory, getting through the session. So here we go then, eyes now on qualifying. We've got to go hell to the leather and try to get our qualifying lap in nice and early and see what we can do. But here we go then, down towards turn number 1 to start the lap. Rueda on the right hand side has been given a long lap penalty. I don't know again what's happened, but Rueda involved in an incident somewhere around the course and has been given a long lap penalty here at Mugello, and the drama continues to unfold in the Moto3 World Championship. The man who looked comfy at the top of the standings and then crashed out of a podium position in Aragon, and now he's got a long lap penalty to deal with across the Italian Grand Prix. But on our first sector we are red in the first split, and it looks like we're going to be challenging Quiles for provisional pole, a 55.2 for him as it stands. I think we were a 55.5 I think in practice, so not quite a 55.2, but you can always find a 10th here and there when it comes to qualifying in the Moto3 World Championship. 0.3 of a second though, we've dropped a lot of time in the second sector, and we're going to try and use all the road through Arrabbiata and try to just claw back a 10th here or there as we head now into the right-hander of Scarperia. Then we'll flick it left for Pelagio and try and get on the power as early as possible. We're a bit wide though, and the exit of Scarperia just to try and change direction, so we've cost ourselves a bit of time there. But the good news is, at least for the second lap, we have got areas where if we just tidy it up a little bit, we will find a bit of time. So providing we can match our pace everywhere else, we will find a little bit of time. And actually we found the 10th on Quiles despite that mistake, so that is boding well for our next lap, where hopefully we can get in a little bit more time. But Luca Lanetta goes to the top of the timesheet, so 54.848 for the Aspar rider, 55.4 for Carpe. What's it going to be for us as we head towards the line to end the first lap? We stopped the bean on a 55.416, and it's the same lap time as Alvaro Carpe, but because he did it first, it means that we're denied a front row spot as it stands. And once we move on to midway through the next lap, half a second in our back pockets, and we're going to get to the point where we can make up a little bit of time as we run right up to the top of the curb on the exit of Arrabbiata. Right, nice and tidy through here, not as wide on the exit. That's much better. We open up the left-hander, carry a bit more corner speed. We do find a little bit of time, but not actually as much as I was anticipating there. And as we come through to the final corner, we've been dropped right down to P12 because Uriarte's up to 7th, Rueda is in 8th, Quiles 9th, Munoz 10th, and Carpe, the man who set identical lap times with, is in 11th. And we come to the line, we're going to stop the beam once again. It's going to be an improvement, and it's going to be P4 for now. So up to P4 then, with 5 and a bit minutes left on the clock. And as we head into the final lap of the session, we're getting a nice slipstream here from Max Quiles, who at the minute is down in 11th position, so we want to clear him if we can in towards San Donato, round the outside on the brakes. We do get through, costs us a little bit of time, but look at that, we are a 10th and a bit underneath, and we just need to find another 10th and we can launch a pole position attack because Munoz has put it at the top of the timesheets. Lunetta in 2nd, Fernandez 3rd, and we have just touched the inside curb on the green. And that's going to be all she wrote for our qualifying session. It's going to be P5, the middle of the second row, missing out on a front row spot by less than a 10th, with Adrian Fernandez on the Leopard rounding out the front row. But it's David Munoz on pole position, and we have to look all the way down to 10th place to find Rueda, and I have no idea where Angel Piqueras is going into this Italian Grand Prix.
Good morning from Gavin Emmett at the Mugello circuit. We are live for one of the most impressive events of the entire championship. The atmosphere the Italian fans create on these hillsides is simply incredible. In a few moments, we'll move to the main straight to watch the start of the Moto3 race.
Here we go then, the Italian Grand Prix. It's cloudy, overcast conditions, but I think we are going to be nice and safe for this one. No rain inbound or incoming. David Munoz on the lovely Dynavolt bike will start from pole position, and he's joined on the front row by Luca Lunetta and Adrian Fernandez, who will start third. We start in the middle of the second row. You can see at the bottom of the screen it's confirmation from the stewards of the long lap penalty for Jose Antonio Rueda for whatever happened in qualifying, and Noah Detweiler being given that long lap penalty for an incident in free practice earlier on in the weekend. But we go from 5th. Let's see what we can do.
The start of the Italian Grand Prix here at Mugello, just a few moments away now, and very soon we'll see the riders powering down to the San Donato corner.
The Moto3 field ready to power towards San Donato for the first time in what is a 7-lap race. You can see on the left-hand side, Rueda, long lap penalty icon is on, but we're not going to worry about that for now because we are underway and it's a good start from ourselves. We're going to get straight past Adrian Fernandez, straight past David Munoz, and straight past Luca Lunetta, and we're going to take the lead into San Donato. But what is going on further back? There is riders down, and there is only about 12 of us who have made it into turn number 1 in a group. The rest, if you look at the minimap, the rest of the riders haven't even got through turn 1 yet. I have no idea what's happened, but it doesn't matter. We're in the lead of the Italian Grand Prix as we head down towards turn number 4 and 5 for the first time. Into the left, and then we're going to flick it right, and then we'll get on the power as hard as we can and try to lead the pack through the lovely Castanova Savelli section for the first time. But let's just have a look at what happened here. Everybody just shuts. I don't know if the pit limiters are all on for these or what. I literally have no idea. I cannot explain what is going on here. The riders are going so slow, and then if we didn't get to see if by the time we got to the edge of the pit lane whether he accelerated away. I would say that the riders, some of the riders have got the pit limiter on. That is the only kind of thing that actually Rueda, I think, was in there as well. And I just have no idea what I'm looking at right now. It's like a slow bicycle race as we head towards turn number 1. There is Rueda at the front of the screen. So Rueda's in about 19th position now, which is just bonkers. As we have another look at it, this time with David Almanza, who had actually involved in a crash. He seems to be alright. He seems to be getting the power down nicely. And as he head in towards turn number 1, he's slammed into the back of Quiles, I think that is. And Max Quiles is out of the race as well. And this is Jacob Rolston, who also gets going and then slams into the stricken MTA bike. So I don't understand what has happened in this Italian Grand Prix, but it's all kicked off. There's riders down everywhere, and that looked like Piqueras gone down. It is! Piqueras has gone down on the MSI MT Helmets bike. Piqueras is out of the race on this opening lap of the Italian Grand Prix. He just gone through the right into Pelagio. What happens here to Piqueras, the man of the championship leader? He hits the inside curb and he crashes out of the race. We also lost our teammate Nicolo Carraro as well on the opening lap. But it's all going on in Mugello. It is a feisty Italian Grand Prix that is already looking to be a race of attrition as we head now through Savelli for the second time. We've been pressurised all angles. We've got Lunetta one side, Fernandez looking the other side, Munoz as well. We know how impatient David Munoz is and aggressive he is, but the aggression is coming from Adrian Fernandez, one of our rivals who is still unhappy with us in this one. He launches an attack and hits the front of the Italian Grand Prix as we head into Scarperia for the second time. Is everybody going to make it through? We'll have to wait and see as we head through. I hear the beeping in the background and somebody is down in the background. It looked like it might have been Piqueras' teammate Alvaro Carpe who has crashed out of this race. But filtering through Corintaio, it's Fernandez who leads. We're in second. Then it's Lunetta, Munoz, and then it is, where are we? Ricky Rossi in 5th position. Eddie O'Shea is up into 6th, and Rucci Moodley as well, running very, very well in 7th. Now then, here's Noah Detweiler coming into the long lap penalty zone. He's going to take the long lap penalty for his naughtiness in free practice, as is Jose Antonio Rueda. So this is key to keep an eye on Rueda's race to see where he is. He's going to come out side by side with one of the 658 bikes and slots in behind. And that looked like Stefano Nepa as Max Quiles on the opening lap crashes out of the race. And that is unfortunate for him. And then on lap number 3, he is definitely going to crash out of the race this time. He goes down and his race is ran. Here's Scott Ogden. He's behind Bouasri and he's gone down in the same style as everybody else at Palagio, and he is out of the race. So Ogden, who had a good race in Aragon, his Italian Grand Prix has come to an early end, as has Pini, who crashed out in Aragon as well. He's had back-to-back DNFs, but for now, our attention lies on Fernandez. We are trying to do something about this fast Spaniard who leads the Italian Grand Prix on the Leopard bike. We want to beat Fernandez. We don't really want to be beaten by our not even championship rival, just rival in general. A few harsh words exchanged between myself and Adrian, and it would hurt me a little bit if we was to be beaten by him as we head through Casanova and Savelli. A moment for us on the exit allows Lunetta and Munoz through, and actually what happened there was I disconnected my headset from my chat link and I couldn't hear anything, so I was trying to plug that back in as well as riding a Moto3 bike, and we relinquished second place to Lunetta. And Munoz, who actually I've only just noticed has been given a long lap penalty. Munoz, I can only assume for track limits, has been given a long lap penalty on that Dynavolt bike. So Munoz is now kind of out of contention. We don't have to worry about him, but he's going to do everything that he can to make sure that he upsets everybody else to not then lose as much time as he goes through the long lap penalty zone later on. He's got that wrong at the Biondetta chicane, and that's another strike against his name on now a second batch of warnings for Munoz. So he's already gone through the first. This is what happened to his teammate Pini. I mentioned he crashed out earlier on. He's gone down at the left-hander as the same as left-hander as everybody else. Now then, here's Jose Antonio Rueda coming into that danger point. He's further down the order and he's gone down. Rueda's gone down now. So both Piqueras and Rueda have crashed out of the race, although Rueda rejoining back on, and actually very, very close as he pulled out in front of one of the 658 bikes. But Rueda is now running at the back of the grid behind Furusato, and that is absolutely huge for our championship, because all of a sudden we could put ourselves in third position, and we will lead the championship by 1 point, I think, or be joint on points with Piqueras. If we take second place, we are going to return, should I say, to the lead of the championship, and obviously a victory would just be the icing on the cake. But we're 1.2 seconds behind Fernandez as it stands in this one. We've got Lunetta ahead of us. We've cleared Munoz, we've checked him, and we are through on the Spaniard on the Dynavolt bike. And now we can turn our attentions to Luca Lunetta on this Aspar bike and try and get ahead of him as we head down in towards the right-hander of Casanova. Then turn left for Savelli, and Munoz on the inside as we run a little bit wide, just try and carry a swooping line. There's no way through for him though, but there might be a door opening at Arrabbiata 1, but we do just about maintain that position over Munoz, and we just leave the door open for him at Arrabbiata 2 instead, and he comes through, but we do get a nice switchback, and naturally just pulling the bike back down to the apex. And we do move back up into P3. Munoz again though on the inside looking to get through. He wasn't alongside us there, so we just kept turning in, and a bit of contact between myself and Munoz that then actually cost him the position to Ricky Rossi. Now meanwhile back with Ricky Rossi's teammate Furusato, who still leads Jose Antonio Rueda. Rueda looking for a way through. This will be for 16th position in this race with only 17 runners, I think, running in this one. And Rueda's gone down again in the same place as before. Rueda is down, and this time he is out of the race, because we're now looking at the championship, the race leader, should I say, Adrian Fernandez, and Rueda, who was could have been championship leader once again with a finish in this one, is now down, and this time he is out of the race. And all we need to do now is get ahead of Lunetta, and our 15-point deficit in the championship will turn into a 5-point lead in the Moto3 World Championship. Across the line we go, and it is second position for us. If I've done the maths right, it'll be 5 points. I probably haven't done the maths right. Maths isn't my strongest suit, but we are into second place as we start the penultimate lap of the race. Stefano Nepa further back, he's got the fastest lap of a 55.2. We just posted a 55.3, so our best lap of the race. That beat a 55.4 from lap number 3, and we now have a perfect gap to Adrian Fernandez. We have a marker that we can try and chase down in these final couple of laps, but we're still under pressure from Lunetta behind, who's going to try everything that he can to get through on us, and we're going to in turn try everything we can to keep him behind. Ricky Rossi in 4th. He's also chasing a home podium as Munoz disappears for his long lap penalty, so Munoz leaving it to the very last second to get his long lap penalty done, and he will slot into the back of this group. I think, no, he's just ahead of Uriarte there on the MLAV bike, so 8th position for Munoz, and he's got 1 lap now to get as high up the order as he can. He's got Foggia ahead of him, he's got Moodley ahead of him, and he's got Eddie O'Shea ahead of him, and we've got Lunetta briefly ahead of us as we do the switchback on the exit of Bacini and move back up into P2. So already in our head, we know that Lunetta could try that move on the last lap, and we switch back him, and we will beat him to the line as we post our best lap of the race once again. But we haven't made any inroads into Fernandez. We have not really closed the lead of Adrian Fernandez at all in this race. He still remains pretty comfortably in the lead of this Moto3 race as we head through the chicane for the final time. Out of Savelli now, it's a 7/10 gap, and we've now got Lunetta all over us. A bit of contact with the Aspar bike. He's now going to have the inside line. We pick up a track limits warning, which in real life would demote us a position, but in the game, no such thing as we get very close to the back. In fact, a bit of contact, and round the outside now of Lunetta. A bit of a boisterous move and an unreally heard of move round the outside into the right-hander. Lunetta, though, gets through with a bit of freeze framing on the recording, so apologies for that throughout this series. I'm trying to fix it, but it's proving a little bit difficult. Now, out of the right-hander of Corantayo we go. We are into second place. Well, we're not into second place. We're trying to get second place from Lunetta. Lunetta is into second place. We're third place. We've got Ricky Rossi in 4th place, and now there's going to be a move surely on the cars into the final corner. Somebody's gone down further behind, but that doesn't matter for now because we're looking at the inside of Lunetta, and Ricky Rossi's come through out of nowhere, but we get the switch back on both of them, and now surely, providing we don't get outrun to the line, we're going to take our best result in the Moto3 World Championship this season across the line. It is second place on the Snipers bike, and it is the championship lead back in our court. We ended up 1.6 seconds behind Fernandez, but it doesn't matter because we got a second place. We've finally taken second in this one, and we do move 5 points in front of Angel Pequera, 6 points ahead of Rueda. It's very, very close at the top of the standings. Only 16 riders finished the Italian Grand Prix in what was one of the most crazy races of attrition I've seen on a MotoGP game in such a long time. Adrian Fernandez moves up a lot of positions in the standings with that victory. Nicolo Carraro down to 19th place, so not too good for him. But Fernandez is now joint 4th with Munoz in the world standings, and all of a sudden it just shows that one good victory and you are right back in the mix and in the hunt. But there we go, back on the podium. I said at the start of the episode I wanted to get back on the podium. I wanted the race victory, to be honest. I feel like it's 2 races in a row where we might have had a shot at a victory, but it wasn't to be, and the battling with Lunetta just let Fernandez go, and we didn't really actually have an answer for him, so whether we would have got the victory if we was with him anyway remains to be seen. But nonetheless, happy to be back on the podium, and happy to come through what was a very difficult race for everybody in the Moto3 World Championship. But there we go, that is it for round number 9, and next up we go to Assen for the 10th round of the season. Dennis Foggia giving us a little bit of congratulations there for beating him in that race, and yeah, all in all, a very good Italian Grand Prix. So until the next episode, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, when we go to Assen we will try again to chase that first victory of the season. So until the Dutch Grand Prix, I will see you then. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.